Is this cat talented, or is it possessed? Published by Darrell Zand in May of 2012, this couple captured their cat acting out of character, crawling between the upper door frames near the ceiling like some crazy trapeze artist. As the couple is filming, a mysterious, vibrant blue streak flies toward the camera. The cameraman sees it in the moment and comments on it.
Now that was weird.
Was that a ghost orb? Some in the comments certainly think so, but most think the cat was scared beyond measure, not possessed. The cat even appears to watch the strange orb as it flies across the room. What do you think? Scared, possessed, or something else altogether? From voices to semi-transparent figures, baby monitors have been known to throw off all types of creepy vibes. This is amongst the creepiest. Posted to the Ghosts subreddit, the OP writes, "I'm 96% sure we caught a ghost on camera, pulling on my almost 2-year-old son's leg while he was sleeping in his crib. The scary video shows the baby lying face down in his crib, both of his legs tucked near the bars. At first, the baby's left leg looks like it's being repeatedly pulled toward and even through the bars, but this could just be the baby himself sticking his feet there. But then all of a sudden, the baby's leg is lifted upwards, beyond the scope of ordinary baby abilities. It folds and is even bent at the knee and pulled backward. The leg is then extended out, then yanked behind its other leg and pulled between the bars. It's pulled upwards and back again, bent at the knee. This is done repeatedly until the leg is yanked so far backward that it seems to wake the baby up. He throws his head back and then pulls both legs beneath him. All the while, a strange white orb roams across the screen, floating above him. Some in the comments even say it seems to move in sync with the pulling of the leg. Most Redditors are terrified in the comments. Others think the ghost may have been trying to flip the baby over, so he wasn't sleeping on his stomach. But myself and nearly everyone agrees with Redditor Malin, who writes, "Straight up the most convincing ghost video I've ever seen. Gabby Licht has seen a ghost." Published in September of 2018. Gabby shares her ghost story, while also showing footage she captured on camera. The scary video shows the door of her room opening and closing slightly, back and forth. She also says the knob is jiggling.
When I had a ghost experience, but I'll put the video here. You can kind of see the handle just like wiggling back and forth, and it's kind of weird. It didn't freak me out that bad, but it's kind of strange to have it on video. I showed my parents and it freaked my mom out, but I've had other stuff happen, so it was just kind of interesting to get that one on video. But this next one, I guess...
Gabby has been experiencing the paranormal for something like 8 years now, and this is just one event she captured on video. Is something trying to communicate with her? It sure seems that way to me. The big question is, what is it saying? These paranormal investigators use a flashlight to communicate with their ghostly counterparts. Published by Mackie and Amanda in April of 2022, the pair explore the haunted Cosmopolitan Hotel in San Diego. The girls talk to the spirits in the hotel, requesting that they interact with this dangling string, and the spirits respond.
Just touch that string one time. Did you see that?
And if you're watching it, because I'm watching you hold the things completely still, I watched like how far it was going up against the line, you know? It definitely moved further.
It looked like someone touched a string about a foot up.
I don't understand. There's no wind.
I don't either.
Later, while sitting in bed, they hear repeated noises. They check to see if someone is walking outside on the balcony, but no one's there.
Oh, God. Oh. You hear that? Is someone open that? No.
There's no one here, Amanda.
I haven't seen really anyone at this place.
I haven't either.
Then the water starts to drip in the bathroom, and it continues to sound like someone is in their room.
I think room 11 was the one that they...
Sounds
like someone's in here.
They ask the spirits to turn the flashlight off and then back on. After asking the spirits to repeat this act, the flashlight turns off and the REM pod in the bathroom goes off as well.
Can you turn the flashlight off? All the way, completely off. Mikey! Turn it off!
The spirits continue communicating with the girls through the flashlight. They find out that they're speaking to a ghost named Isadora. She confirms it's her through the REM pod.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Isadora, if that's you, okay, I was gonna say, can you go over to that REM pod we have in the bathroom?
That red light.
That red light that was just beeping. Can you make it start going off again? Can you make it start beeping?
We'll give you like 15 seconds. She's like, she said yes.
Oh my god.
The correspondence continues for a long while, with Isadora being very communicative. Mackie and Amanda return to talk to her later.
I feel like no one's here.
No one's here right now. Just give it a minute.
Isadora? What was that? What is that? Wait, what is that? What's shaking?
They check out early because they're understandably creeped out. It sounds like there's many unseen residents of this hotel and they're not leaving anytime soon. This abandoned Blacksmith's Arms has a misty occupant. Published by Nighthawk's Paranormal in March of 2022, this scary footage was filmed at the Blacksmith's Arms in the UK. The first evidence of paranormal activity occurs when the EMF meter sitting on a table starts going off.
K2's going off. It's going up to the red. Thank you for that.
Shortly after, the cameraman says he can hear talking.
I heard something. Gonna leave that sat there.
Later, they hear someone walking above them on the second floor.
Did you hear that then? There's someone walking above us. I don't even think they can get to this part of the roof. I think it's like a roof space up there.
Yeah.
A REM pod goes off in another room, suggesting that there are multiple spirits in the home. As the cameraman enters the next room where his partner is, the REM pod is triggered again.
Thank you for that. REM pod. Thank you.
While all of this is creepy, the icing on the cake is when a white misty shadow figure appears. This occurs in the doorway of a back room. You can vaguely see a white mist in the shape of a figure move past. Is this what's setting off all the paranormal devices? Whatever is causing it is sure gonna make our stomachs hurt. This CCTV footage shows a young woman hurrying down a flight of steps only to find something waiting for her at the bottom of the stairwell. The shadowy figure turns towards her, and if you look closely, you can almost make out the circular outline of a face. She bolts away and the apparition quickly pursues. If this video is real, then nobody knows what happens next or if she even survived. Using magnetic fields, this ghost hunter is communicating with the afterlife. Published by 01 Supernatural Studio in March of 2022. After quickly ascertaining that he's not alone, he finds the stairs are extra active.
因为越里面磁场越强。有，但也没有。
Later, he sees these changes as he enters a room.
看到这个我就想到最近电影那个咒啊。
He discovers the fields on the second floor are even stronger. He asks the spirit to give him more energy and his device spikes.
你跟着我上来了，若是的话，多加一点能量。好的，感谢。
He sees the magnetic field is ripe here and sets up his camera. Then he speaks to the spirits, which respond. He hears a voice in the room, and a shadow moves in the next room over. The magnetic field changes in response.
那我想请教一下，有人会听到这里面有些能量上反应哈？是。那我想请教一下。
As the ghost hunter continues his communication, in the end, he asks the spirit if he's leaning beside him, and the spirit responds in kind. He is there, and he's guaranteed to haunt you forever. What would you do if a poltergeist became more and more aggressive? Published by D-Dog Michael in January of 2022, this scary video follows this paranormal explorer through an abandoned building. Michael first encounters some unsettling sounds like bottles trembling. He thinks it's just the wind at first, but the sound becomes louder and more aggressive. This makes him run back downstairs. As they continue to explore, a window panel slides open, and later he hears regular banging noises in the hallway. When he goes to investigate, the banging noises get louder and more frequent. As he approaches a door, he asks the spirit if he can go in and look around, but the spirit seems to answer in the negative.
저 잠깐만 들어가도 될까요? 사람...
He runs off but returns to the same door, and as he's reaching toward the knob, he hears something inside. Finally, inside the room, there doesn't appear to be anyone around, but he hears another sound. Out in the hallway again, he reaches for a second door, and a loud noise is heard behind him.
우리 얘기를 합시다.
Later, he is in a dark bathroom when chaos again breaks out behind him.
잠깐만요.
He continues into a bedroom, and then he sees this shape in the window.
안으로 들어가 보시.
Michael decides it's time to leave this place before whatever haunts it won't let him go. Numbers. If you're told that this space is haunted, you'd better believe it. Published by Chris Ramirez in December of 2014. This guy was told that by many, but he doubted it, and now he finds himself regretting his decision to spend the night there. Talking to the camera from a boiler room fitted with a toilet, the cameraman says that he's been hearing stuff all night. He casts the camera back and forth around the room and lands on a dollhouse. He says he saw a little girl over there.
Last time I seen the little girl, she was over there behind that little dollhouse, man.
Walking over to check behind the dollhouse, he says there's nothing there now. He scans the room again. A shadow figure appears to be standing in the corner, but he doesn't acknowledge it. And when he turns all the way back around to look at his spot in the light, he sees this. The girl is there after all.
Dude, I'm scared as man. Scared.
A musical performance tunes up the paranormal, apparently. Published by Chloe Fantion in July of 2013. Two men are playing music together in a bedroom, one guitarist and one violinist. They wrap up their song and leave the room, letting their camera roll. Once they've left, a shirt drapes over the shelf, falling down strangely, like there's a body inside. A moment later, items fall from the top shelf, and then both instruments start moving at once. The guitar falls completely off of the bed. Was this duo's music so haunting that it conjured up the paranormal? Or is something even more sinister going on here? When the previous owner of your home passed away on the toilet, you know you're in for a terrible stink of a haunting. Published by The Haunted Hut in April of 2020. and originally published by Yama Q, this Japanese YouTuber has captured some strange activity on camera. Here are some examples. In the first clip, Yama hears strange noises happening downstairs and goes to investigate. He soon witnesses this. On another occasion, this happens in the bathroom area. And it isn't just the inside of Yama's house that's haunted, it's the outside too. Another instance shows Yama investigating this strange moaning wail coming from outside his home. When he gets out to the road, there's only silence. Is it the ghost of the former homeowner coming back to haunt him? He should probably flush that toilet. Do you believe our loved ones never leave us? Published by Seth Ponder in April of 2014. This spirit of a grandma wants a cookie. Ponder writes, Sarah was making Lois's cookies for cousin Jenny while listening to the Rat Pack, Lois's favorite, when the lights flashed many times. Lois is, I presume, Sarah's grandma who passed away. The security camera captures the activity as Sarah nonchalantly acknowledges the lights are doing it again. The couple thinks she is trying to communicate with them through the lights. Is grandma working in mysterious ways, or does this house have an electrical issue? Honestly, the first option is way better. Sometimes you don't even see what's right in front of you. Published by Indra Saputra Official. In March of 2022, this paranormal investigator should open his eyes. At the beginning of the clip, there seems to be something standing in the doorway, but it's unclear what it is. As the cameraman backs up, the camera turns away. When it turns back, the vague figure is gone. The cameraman heads toward the room and enters to look around. No one is inside. His camera's light goes dark for a moment, and when it comes on again, this thing is standing in the doorway.
It must be.
He doesn't react the way you think one might, so it seems like he doesn't even see it. But then you hear him retching, like he's either choking or throwing up. Did he survive this haunted encounter? We can only guess. A woman was filming a house inspection when she discovered more than mold. Published by Ghostly in June of 2020. The woman captured a lady dressed in white on video. The ghostly sighting is spotted hovering in one of the home's bedrooms. The figure can be seen as the woman enters and moves toward a sunlit living room. The ghost lady is your regular horror trope. White dress, long dark hair, standing abnormally still and upright. Is this house haunted? Buyer beware. Maybe to the ghosts were the scary ones. Published by Paranormal Boys in September of 2021. This unexpected poltergeist activity scared this crew to their wits' end. The short clip shows everyone panicking as a foundry door opens of its own accord. They all scream as they watch the door stand ajar for a moment before slowly closing again. Did this paranormal crew just scare the living daylights out of a ghost? As YouTuber Jojo Cannon writes, I bet that ghost was like WTF dudes. I couldn't agree more. This ghost is trying to bum a ride. Posted by Ghost Videos in July of 2020. A man was driving in Johor, Malaysia when he crossed paths with a hitchhiking spirit. The dashcam footage shows a dark empty room at night. According to the timestamp, it's around 2 in the morning in July of 2019. As the car barrels down the road, a semi-transparent figure appears in the dark lane on the right. You can barely make out the apparition as it holds out its thumb to catch a ride. What do you think? A live person half hidden in the darkness? Hitchhiking in the darkness of night? If so, what is the spirit's destination? We may never know what is whistling inside this abandoned structure. Published by Ricky Velasquez, we're about to find out. A stone fell into this house and basically made it unlivable, but it sounds like someone still lives here.
¿Estás tratando de decirme algo?
Ricky's paranormal devices are triggered by something unseen on the stairs, and as the sensors continue to go off, things intensify. Ricky seems to spot the Holmes family. Do they still reside here? In spite of everything, maybe they didn't abandon the place after all. Are you ready to be terrified? Posted to the oddly terrifying subreddit by Mene Get Steam. This horror will make your stomach hurt. The clip shows a light flickering in the hallway of what looks like a warehouse at night. A banging is heard in the distance. The cameraman slowly approaches the sound. That's when you see that the culprit is a red door at the end of the hallway, slamming open and closed repeatedly. As the cameraman gets closer, the light flickers on and the slamming stops, but then the light turns off again for a moment. When it returns, a security guard checks the red box and looks around, through the nearby window and another door beyond, but nothing explains it. Although this seems authentically paranormal, Redditor LT Marks bursts our bubble in the comments with an article from Fantastic's Virtual Detective. This video is said to be filmed in the IML unit, a department of forensic medicine in Brazil. However, when a local team went to investigate the account, they found it was actually filmed at a school. On site, they discovered nylon strings attached to the door. While this blows our willing suspension of disbelief, the video still makes for some heavy nightmares. If you hear whispering when you're home alone, you're probably not actually alone. Posted to the haunted subreddit by Please Recycle Those. No one else is here, and this Redditor thinks there's someone downstairs. I'm gonna crank up the volume for this one. The Redditor is filming the stairway that leads down into a living room. You can hear the sound of faint voices, which some in the comments think sounds like two people having a conversation. Others think it sounds like a woman. Theories range from paranormal to robbery. However, Redditor Get in the Box has a different theory. They write, "I heard a conversation coming from our living room one night. It scared me so bad. Turned out to be Alexa working on some math problem on a low volume." The OP doesn't have any such virtual devices though, so what do you think it could be? I feel like this video was posted to the right place because it definitely seems like this place is haunted to me. If you don't want poltergeists keeping you up at night, you might want to erase that pentagram on the wall. Published by Seeker of Ghosts in December of 2021, a demon poltergeist is captured in action in this scary video. The crew enters the apartment to find a red pentagram drawn on one wall with unusual symbology drawn around it. It seems like whoever was here before was welcoming demonic activity with open arms, and the demons obliged. In one clip, a doll spins around on its own, sliding very quickly across the floor. Later, a string that's hanging across the room appears to be cut by something invisible. And then, the most shocking evidence, a stool flies across the room, scraping over the floor. Are the demons responding to the pentagram? What are they trying to tell these ghost hunters? I think the best decision is to get the heck out of there. Who is following the Ogden paranormal crew around this haunted hospital? Published in July of 2020, these paranormal investigators are exploring Linda Vista Hospital in East Los Angeles. The first activity spotted are some strange lights in a darkened hallway. The lights look almost like reflective eyes. They twinkle in the darkness. Later, as they're exploring, an unexplained laugh is heard.
That was you? Can you do that again for me?
What happened?
The cameraman wonders if it's a dog, but it sure doesn't sound like one. They continue, but then one of the crew shrieks.
What? What happened? What happened? What happened? Talk to us. You gotta tell us.
What happened?
What'd you see?
That flipping door closed.
No.
She says one of the doors up ahead closed. Is there a spirit hanging around this hospital? Hopefully it has good intentions. This man's parents' apartment is haunted by poltergeists. Published by Gotico Alex 2 in June of 2017. The uploader thinks that the spirits are aware of being caught on camera. Here he shows the aftermath of what he calls a hurricane in his home. The spirits turned over many expensive electronics and other large furniture, including televisions, shelves, chairs, tables, microwaves, and more. What could have caused this but pure evil? Gotico Alex writes, I managed to see who is hiding behind the screen of lawlessness, and he ain't seen nothing yet. Remember when you used to pretend that your stuffed animal was alive? Perhaps it was all along. Published by The Bottom Line in March of 2022, this video, credited to Lachina Nicole on Facebook, is trending in the Hindi-speaking YouTube community. While sitting in the living room watching TV, this group noticed that something else was watching. Keep an eye on that teddy bear. After a moment, its left leg moves in an obvious way. A second later, it moves again and continues to. One of the friends on the couch finally notices it. Now all three are watching. After examining it and finding nothing unusual about the teddy, they are all on the couch again, when a camera at another angle catches a dark object falling behind him. Or is it a shadow? They all get up to look, and as they're looking, a statue standing on a table is slammed to the ground. Then the teddy bear falls from his perch. As they struggle to open the door to escape, a backpack flies off the table, and a pillow from the couch somehow flies in between them on their way out. Once outside, a large picture falls from the wall, and the backpack and Teddy both move around again. This is absolutely crazy poltergeist activity unfolding before our very eyes. What is causing it? Could it be these orbs? Or something else altogether? Things are getting out of hand with this Pyro-poltergeist. Published by Memoria Sobrenatural Inc. in December of 2021. The spirits first make their presence known in this haunted place via EMF meter. The crew tries to communicate with the spirits and the window shutter slowly opens, perhaps to distract from the fire being set behind them. When they leave the building, they see a dark figure cross a doorway in the firelight. Later, they're back inside and they hear clinking. And then a loud bang. The flame they lit earlier goes out suddenly. Then, as they attempt to detect a presence using the EMF meter, the spirits send them up in flames. Do you think this team finally got the message? This poltergeist couldn't be any clearer. He wants them gone. I don't think I'd ever go back to that place. This creepy footage captures Alex's poltergeist in action. In an additional video published by Gotico Alex 2 in October of 2017, a static camera captures the light turning on in the kitchen by itself. This is followed by a second light turning on and the kitchen door closing. You can hear some noises in the next room. But it's not clear what that is. The camera keeps adjusting, though it's not out of focus. After a while of this, suddenly the camera is thrown to the floor. What is in this house with him? Will this horror story continue? Most in the comments think it's only begun. Turn the volume up on this one. Posted to the Haunted subreddit. Work at Home Freak 99 writes, I live alone and this is a motion or light activated camera. That's me just turning off the light and heading off to bed. Now listen. A loud gravelly voice says either help, go, or come. Depending on which Redditor you ask. Personally, I hear the word help in a sort of Yelp fashion. The OP writes, if I had heard that voice, I would have flipped out. They also say the sound came from the kitchen where the camera is set up, because creepy stuff happens there sometimes. Many are saying the voice is creepy AF and sounds like the Cookie Monster. Regardless, this Redditor should probably try their luck with one of the options currently on the board before this monster takes matters into its own hands. This creepy area is reputed to be haunted by a young man whose life was ended by a passing train nearby. Are we about to see his apparition? Posted by Ghost Videos, this scary video was captured outside of the village of Stanstead Mountain, Fitchhead in the UK. The murky woodland path is mysterious enough, with its bare trees, black river, and heavy fog, and then this mysterious figure turns the mystery up a notch. A semi-transparent shape that's faintly human-like appears near the riverbank. A close-up of the figure shows it swiftly moving in and out of view, vanishing as quickly as it appeared. Some in the comments think this looks completely original. Others are wondering if the cameraman felt a paranormal presence in the moment. If not paranormal in nature, what could this be? Something is buried in the debris of this house. Published by Proving Demons in December of 2021, these paranormal explorers couldn't last the whole night in this very haunted house. Immediately upon entering, they see that this house houses some strange stuff. They soon start to hear creepy noises as well.
I know, so just stick close to me. Shh. What was that about?
They also think they hear walking upstairs.
Yo, is there somebody in here?
As they're looking up the stairs, they start to hear a woman's voice humming. They don't encounter whatever is making the noise, but later as they're about to use a paranormal device, they hear another strange sound. A second sound follows as they're trying to make their way through all the garbage to leave.
Just come with me.
They manage to get out of the place, and maybe just in time. Demonic possession ruins the party again. Published by Bobby Wagaman in April of 2016. This creepy video starts benign, but ends malignant. Bobby says he's hearing strange noises from his roommate's room and he's wondering what to do. He's hanging with his friends when he starts hearing bangs and some terrifying screeching.
Okay. What the Oh my what the Yo.
They enter the hallway and something is seen on the floor outside of his roommate's room, but it's not clear what it is. The screeching continues. They return to their room and hold the door slightly ajar to see what's happening. One of the groups says they have to help and re-enters the hallway, but only for a moment. They dive back into the room and suggest calling the cops, but one of the group again returns to the hallway, and this time you can see who is making that demonic noise. A man is writhing on the ground, half in the bathroom. They shout at him and he turns over and screams, red-faced and convulsing.
Yo, get the DJ, are you okay, dude? DJ!
I think my friend's...
Some in the comments theorize maybe he was seriously sleep deprived rather than possessed, but others are sold on this being a true possession. Spirit Girl points out the demonic speak beneath everyone's voices.
T. Yo, get DJ, are you okay, dude? DJ!
What is it saying? And do we really want to know? I can't imagine it's anything short of terrifying. If you've heard wailing in an abandoned building, would you investigate? Published in April of 2021, these adventurers soon find they're not alone after all. While in a stairwell, they hear a sound upstairs and chase it down. They find no one in the hallway, but do find this strange barrier blocking their path. They ignore it and continue forward. After searching for a time, someone comes racing out of one of the rooms. They chase the figure, but when they get up the next flight of stairs, he has disappeared. After searching this floor for a while to no avail, they hear this voice. Where is it coming from? And whose is it? Though they attempt to chase it down, they never do find out. So I guess for now, it will remain a mystery. What mysteries does this ancient circle of rocks hold? Published by TC Explorer. The paranormal team was seconds into making an intro when this happened. The REM pod starts immediately going nuts.
Okay.
Who is here? The team is at this stone circle, the purpose of which has been a mystery for hundreds of years. When they ask the spirits if they want the team to try the Ouija board, the lights on their paranormal devices spike.
Should we try Ouija?
We can try the spirit box, yes.
Oh. You want us to try the Ouija?
It's just spiked when you said the Ouija. And it's out of focus now on the K2.
Later, one of the team is asking the questions, while the other is wearing headphones to listen into the spirits. He cannot hear his teammate. Watch closely.
To leave.
Huh? Oh, somebody touched me.
You know what I asked?
No?
Do you want us to leave?
I like somebody was tapping on my shoulder. And there was like a scream and like...
It seems it's time to leave. Did whatever tapped them on the shoulder follow? Let's hope not. After this, I would never go back to this place again. While exploring a military bunker in Britain, these ghost hunters may have made contact with the passed on. Published by Ghost Tech Paranormal Investigations in November of 2021, this investigation turns up frights galore. As the pair first tries to communicate with the spirits, something is lurking behind them.
Was that hard on you? And
heard that.
So did I.
They then hear scraping footsteps and deep breathing.
I can hear tapping, scraping. What's that?
They hear noises behind and in front of them.
There's noise coming from down behind us. Behind me. Again, I heard noise, but this time it was from in front of me.
While they continue to try and communicate, the cameraman notices something moving at the end of the tunnel, and zooming in captures what he believes to be a figure in the doorway. Later, they've also captured the partial apparition of what they think is a female phantom positioned behind a GoPro set up in another room. Did these investigators indeed capture some true paranormal entities? Maybe the souls of the soldiers who lost their lives in this bunker never left? Is this the world's angriest poltergeist? Published by Paranoiacs in December of 2021. When the crew arrives at this place in the mountains, they quickly discover they're not alone. They enter the building and hear more and more banging noises. When the camera turns toward the door, a pale face can be seen briefly peering around it. More banging erupts upstairs. And it sounds like things are being thrown down to prevent the crew from coming up. They head back outside and the banging continues. This has sent one of the crew into hysterical laughter. Then the door bursts open. Back inside, things are still being thrown around. They head back to the stairs and finally venture upstairs, despite the poltergeist not letting up. Back on the ground floor, a large iron pole is thrown, and what sounds like footsteps are heard above them. When they make it to the top, they probably wish that they hadn't. After more torment from the poltergeist, something again peers around the corner. Is this what's causing all the mayhem? If so, the power coming from this small figure is terrifying. This haunted hospital is said to heal the passed away. Published by Sean DeCoke in March of 2013, this hospital was abandoned in 1996 for no apparent reason, after being considered one of the best healthcare facilities in the country. These investigators want to know why. They enter one of the hospital theaters and are reading notes written on a whiteboard when this strange noise is heard. They note that no one heard it in the moment, only later on the recording. As they make their way to the next theater, the cameraman feels a presence and turns around to film. Shortly after, the camera goes haywire in the theater. As they continue on their tour, a door bangs shut. Later, someone is whistling a tune, and it's not one of the crew. Many in the comments agree that this hospital is haunted, and some have even been in it and confirm that strange occurrences are frequent. Would you be brave enough to enter? It's a nope from me. Something's cooking in this kitchen. Published by Sasha 180683 in December of 2012. A poltergeist is startling this haunted resident. As the resident enters, a curtain that's hung in front of a washer and dryer keeps fluttering. Then a cupboard pushes open on its own, one of its doors thudding against the stove. The door swings closed and open, moving uncannily. The curtain again moves strangely around, and then back to the cupboard door. The cameraman slowly backs out of the room and then moves forward again, getting a closer look at the cupboard door and the curtain. No strings and the window isn't open. He shows the camera that it's 2 a.m. After closing the cupboard again, the door swings open, and the curtain plays around a bit more. What invisible energy powers this kitchen? A poltergeist would be my guess. when a jinn comes to play, it's generally gloves off, published by Hassan Barbar in June of 2021. This scary video was filmed inside a not-so-abandoned building. The building alone is frightening, but when Hassan arrives at this room, it becomes more so. The jinn starts throwing things around, and when he enters, he gets pipes thrown at him. Things are being flung at all angles, so Hassan retreats into an adjacent room for safety, but the jinn won't let him hide out forever. It shoves something in the empty hole where a doorknob should be, and soon it bursts the door open.
Sure.
Hassan re-enters the haunted but now quiet room. As he continues around the building, the jinn gets angrier and angrier. This continues and doesn't let up. Eventually, he's had enough and goes to leave, but as he does, it appears he's pushed down the stairs by an invisible force. A lot of racket is heard afterward. It looks like a door was thrown down the stairs at him. Was this the jinn's doing? It looks like he's not playing at all. I think everyone should be staying far away from this place. Do you have the cojones to dance with the devil? Published by Devil's Hours Production in May of 2021, this scary video sees one paranormal investigator playing around with Beelzebub. Originally filmed in March of 2013, the crew gets a spike on the Mel meter after one of them asks the spirits to make their presence known.
Can you make your presence known?
Just so you know, Matt, we're getting a 0.1 spike on the Mel meter right now.
As they continue onward, the meter rises and rises and rises some more. When they specifically ask the spirit to raise the meter, it does.
0.1, 1.2, 1.3.
Is that you? Speaking to this device right here. Is that you? Speaking to this device right here.
They continue walking when they suddenly hear a girl giggling. The girl remains with them, and she makes her presence known.
Spot on here.
7.6.
I just heard a little girl. You go up to that antenna right now, and you touch it. It will go off, and that's how we can know that it's you.
The pair capture the creepy image on camera. It looks very much like a small girl, and later they hear a demonic hissing noise. Is this the soul of a little girl? Or is it the devil pretending? An infrared camera was directed toward a stairway in a haunted home. This is what it captured, published by Electrica Man in October of 2006. The cameraman casts the shot toward the top of the stairs, appealing to the ghost to talk to them. While the spirit doesn't make a peep, you can see a child-sized apparition move out of view at the top of the stairs.
Okay, everybody. Hold still for a second.
You have to look closely as the semi-transparent figure vanishes quietly from the landing into the adjacent hallway. Is this ghost camera shy? Chris Halton of Haunted Earth TV shares in the comments, "As an investigator, I have noticed a connection between IR light and spirits. They do react against the infrared light." He adds that this footage is the most compelling he's seen. What do you think? It seems to me that some very mysterious stuff is going on in this home. Back in 1993, This TikToker's father took a video on a sharp camcorder. She thinks he captured a ghost. Posted on TikTok by Olivia Bishop, the mysterious video shows a child at play while her parents watch.
For all those Gen Zs out there, this is a camcorder. We'd set it up, press record, and go about our day. I don't know why, it was just a 90s thing. And just so you guys know, we've had a ghost in every house that we've lived in, so that's why I found this very intriguing. Go ahead and watch that pumpkin in the left-hand corner, and let me know what you think.
A small plastic pumpkin sits at the end of a slide near the camcorder. After a moment, it rolls across the floor on its own for no discernible reason. Some in the comments note that the baby looks over at the pumpkin at the exact moment, like she senses something is there. Olivia claims to have had a ghost in every house they've lived in. Is this one of them? It appears that's the case. The historic Jefferson Hotel is a hotbed for paranormal activity, and this is one of the creepiest pieces of evidence yet. Published by the hotel in March of 2021, a security camera captured this incident in one of the hotel's hallways. In the clip, a guest of the hotel is seen looking for her husband. She asks a couple walking by if they've seen him. As they're talking, a deep guttural growl is heard. They all hear it and jump back. You can see their reaction here.
Jumped back as if something was like yelling at them down the hall. You could see they were all scared.
The couple walks away while the first guest is left alone with whatever made this noise. The hotel's caretaker says that the male guest seen in this video asked him where the speaker was. The man thought the hotel was in the business of ambiance, so had hidden speakers in the floor to add to the haunting atmosphere. The problem is that he was wrong. After being asked this, the caretaker, knowing there weren't any speakers, pulled up video from a second camera at the end of the hallway in the direction of the growl. This is what he found.
So, did you hear that growl?
The growl sounds very animalistic, almost demonic. Is this one of the many demons that haunt the halls of the Jefferson? Or is someone playing tricks? Are apps the best method by which to gauge the paranormal around us? Published by QTube in August of 2021. These guys are freaking out after seeing something sitting in a chair in their home via an app filter. They note that another chair nearby looks completely normal, but when scanning the chair next to it with the filter, it's red hot with energy.
And this chair isn't. Look, this one's fine, but you can go on this chair. Someone is sitting on this chair, guys.
They're sure that someone is sitting in this chair. Is technology finally allowing us to engage with the invisible energies around us? Or is the filter just glitching? I think they should try using a thermal camera in this room. It might just reveal more than what we saw here. Isn't it awful when the paranormal ruins your 15-minute break? Published by L.D. Praja in October of 2018. Mysterious activity in a factory in Sukabumi, Indonesia, had one worker running for the hills. The video shows a young man preparing something in the break room. Behind him, a piece of clothing hanging on a cabinet door starts moving on its own. He must have caught it out of the corner of his eye because he looks over for a moment, but by that time it's still. Next, the chair behind him starts inching backward and around. The clothing starts moving again as well, but the guy doesn't notice. That is, until the chair is thrown backward and clatters on the ground. The man runs off, never to return again. It seems these poltergeists have left their group project until the last minute. Published by Amar Ajola in September of 2014. This scary video caught some paranormal activity in a computer lab in Delhi's Karkardoma court. The footage shows a man sitting in a computer lab. He appears to be waiting to capture some strange activity on his camera, and then it happens. One computer monitor turns on, after another. They each turn on in their own time across the lab. No one else is in the room, so the mysterious behavior of the monitors is unnerving. Some think it's a prank using remote activation. Others think it's a ghost programmer needing to complete a project. Many note the orb activity in the video. Are these the entities that are present? It's certainly seeming that way to me. This is some of the most convincing footage I've seen in a while. Posted to the Ghosts subreddit by AMRV_5, this poltergeist activity left this resident with more questions than answers. The Redditor explains that she's been living in this apartment with 2 roommates for months, and they've noticed that nothing seems to stay on the walls, from pictures to posters. Due to the home's age, they thought that a lack of insulation and drafts were causing tape and sticky tack not to stay put. After being gifted some original artwork, they put some framed pictures up on the walls with nails, but the very first night, both of the frames fell from the wall. This happened a couple of nights in a row. One night, one of the pictures started moving slightly, so the Redditor broke out her camera and captured this. The video shows the frame moving, just as they'd witnessed before. It happens several times, and then the rolling chair swivels around. No one is near it. The Redditor pleads, "Can anyone tell me what this is? What's going on here?" Well, some in the comments think there must be fishing line involved. Some are suggesting that perhaps an air vent came on. There is in fact a vent up in the corner of the room. Still, others think it could possibly be a paranormal entity. A second video seems to suggest it's the latter. In the video, the Redditor does a vent test to see if the heating cycle is causing any sort of disturbance to the frame. As she's standing there waiting for the heater to come on, a loud disturbance is heard outside her room. She heads over to investigate and finds a boot thrown on a stair below. As she's looking around, another loud bang is heard from back in her room. When she returns, the frame has fallen from the wall onto her desk. She notes that the air has not come on yet, while Redditors are convinced by the second video. Many are agreeing with then Safety 5971, who writes, "If it's fake, you still got me. What do you think? I can't think of any explanations outside of the paranormal." Longleaf Castle is a stately home in England, built in the 16th century. It serves as the seat of the Marquess of Bath, and apparently of a ghost. Published by Steve Hugh in March of 2013, this scary video shows the ghost in action. As the lights flicker overhead in a hallway, a shadow figure descends the staircase. You can see the figure's footprints take each step until it arrives at the bottom of the stairs, where it casts a shadow on the hardwood floor. There are clanking noises throughout the entire video and footsteps. They seem to be coming closer and closer to the cameraman, while the shadow moves further and further away. When the shadow figure disappears at the end of the hallway, the lights start flickering there as well. Is this genuinely paranormal? While many in the comments say this is compelling and looks legit, others say that this video is either edited or that it could be a hologram effect at Longleaf Castle to freak out guests who visit. What do you think is really going on here? Filmed on Friday, April 13th, 2007, this footage will give you a nightmare on Elm Street. Published in April of 2007, writes, "I set the camera up overnight, and this is what my dog has been barking at all these weeks." The video was filmed in the dark kitchen of the uploader's home. After a moment, you can see Adam's dog on high alert. What he is guarding against is made clear after a second. It looks like the blinds on the door have opened, and a light is turned on outside. The dog whimpers, and then the blinds slowly start rolling up. When they're about a third of the way up, they flick shut again. The dog is clearly concerned and stays there, guarding the door. What do you think is going on here? YouTuber269 calls this video authentic, writing in the comments, "At first I thought that maybe someone was hiding to the right in the dark, but I believe that your dog, unless trained by some military or authoritative entity, would have fouled the whole making of this video by running toward the hidden person and trying to play. Very interesting how the dog was focused on that single spot. What is he staring at? I sadly think we'll never know. Knock knock. Who's there?" Published by C's Crazy Crossroads in March of 2022. C is exploring a random creepy house in the woods that looks like it's abandoned, but is it? Chris and Joe first hear this ruckus coming from another room. He says the drain cover moved.
This freaking thing just moved.
Later, as he's capturing footage of walls that have been punched in and the wallpaper torn off, his camera light keeps shutting off despite having good battery life.
If I could get my light going again. Alright, there's still battery life on my light and it keeps shutting off in here for some reason. Yep, this light on top.
He then hears something break, and then his light goes out again. Is something unpleasantly paranormal lingering here? Unseen. It seems like Chris and Joe got out just in time. There's nothing creepier than when your food moves on its own. Posted to TikTok by Jake M. to Pat, a woman is seen placing several small bowls out on a table for dinner. She notices one of the bowls twisting and sliding around on its own. She picks it up and wipes the bottom, thinking it might be that the bowl is wet. Placing it back, it still seems to twist for a moment. Is this just moisture at play? Or do we have a hungry ghost on our hands?